So welcome to our Mind the Moments Tuesday morning gathering brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. This is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe, Palacino, and thank goodness that Rebecca's husband has dug her out of the snowbank, because here she is, Rebecca Wing, instructor with Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning. Yes, I had to check to see if the snowblower sound was bleeding through my microphone. I'm glad to hear that it's not. We're still getting dug out. I'm here in Saco, Maine, and we've got, I think, over a foot of snow here. So it's beautiful, though. Just a gorgeous morning.
Yeah. Well, we also got about 4 inches here in the Boston area, and same thing. Rebecca and I were just talking about what a lovely, not windy storm it was. It was just light falling snow, and I just love where I live. Very grateful for it. So, so happy to have you here this morning, Rebecca.
My pleasure. Yes.
So today we will start as we usually do with a question for the group. Rebecca will pose that, and then we'll have an opportunity for you to share your answer and some thoughts, which is always a rich discussion over the chat. And then she'll lead us in at least a 12-minute guided practice, which is the sweet spot that's been determined by Dr. Amishi Jha, who's one of our wonderful partners who we've had on the program a number of times. And she's found that sweet spot with her meditation research. So that's where we'll go. And after that, we'll have time for questions. So if you go to the bottom of your screen, open up the chat, and the chat will, the bottom of the chat, the blue drop down, you'll have a chance to choose everyone if that's something you'd like to do. And then everyone will be able to see your comments and question and answers to the question. So with that, Rebecca, what question do you have for us?
Yes. So this morning we're going to be exploring the interior realm of the body. And the question is, what makes it difficult to attend to and be with your own body? What makes it difficult to be with and attend to your own body? Yeah. One of the biggest things about meditation oftentimes is that we talk about focusing on the breath, but really there's this deeper form of practice, which we'll do today, that invites our attention into really this interior realm. What's called interoception, which is basically feeling the body from the inside out and learning how to be with it. But as we know in our culture, oftentimes we're drawn out into the world so much and into the conceptual thinking realm that we aren't really in our body. We don't really feel our body. We're sort of not there. And I think it's always helpful to sort of reflect, what is it about, my relationship to my body that makes it so difficult to be with it at times? Yeah. Right, Loretta, all the external distractions, right? There's so many things pulling us away, for sure.
Yeah, and the first time that you mentioned this, Rebecca, I thought, when I have pain in my body, we sometimes, I think our culture has told us, oh, if you have pain, just distract yourself and don't connect with that pain. And I've learned a lot about that with mindfulness. So
yes,
that still is difficult.
And I think I agree. I mean, John, like you said, even little discomforts, in meditation, we can have even these little aches or pains while we're meditating, and that can pull us away and to storytelling or worrying, sort of not being with the experience of the sensation, but commenting on it. And that's what's challenging around that. Yeah. Awareness of the needs around me. Yeah. Yeah. If you're tending to be with, serve others, parent, spouse, family, clients, you recognize oftentimes that we can sort of not inhabit our own self until maybe, 7 p.m. and then realize that we're completely exhausted and our body has been crying out for attention all day, but we haven't really been able to be dropping into it throughout the day. Yeah. Yep.
That's such a good point that that happens. Sometimes we don't do it until we sit down to watch TV or read a book or even go to bed, and you're like, wow, this is what my body feels like now. It's
Yes. And
easy
that's
to
sort of
ignore it throughout the day.
right. But late in the afternoon headache or neck ache or backache, where that's just the culmination of a whole day of ignoring the body. When we finally get to a point where there's a lot of discomfort in the body and it's really speaking out very strongly, we've missed opportunities throughout the day to drop in and notice where we're tightening, holding, contracting internally. So these are the practices we really recognize are not just formal meditation, but actually moments throughout the day where I can just boom, drop right back down into the interior realm of my body and rest there with some pure awareness, absent commentary, absent assessing, just being with and attending to and opening to that awareness. So why don't we do a little practice this morning with that in mind, and I'll lead us through this particular practice. So go ahead and, again, as always, find that posture that's comfortable to you, but also know in this particular one, you really want to make sure that your spine is as long and upright as possible. I always like to think of it as sitting with dignity. So letting the eyes softly close. So first we drop into awareness of the outer experience of the body. So just notice the temperature on your skin. A sensation of the clothing on your body, feeling the fabric against you. Sensing the temperature of your hands, your feet. And arriving with a sensation of the cushion beneath you, really feeling yourself grounded in the seat beneath you. Then we invite the attention inward. So first you can explore areas of warmth or coolness in the interior body. And of course, there's the rise and fall of breathing that's going on. So we can really experiment with sensing that from deep inside the body with this open awareness. As you drop in more deeply, you may notice the sense of flow in the body, a pulsing. Could be a sense of the heartbeat. There could even be an awareness of the flow of blood in the arteries and veins in the body when you really get curious about attending in this deeper level, sensing so much movement, flow, pulsing in the body. You can even attend to the sensation of the digestive system, whatever sensations are observable there. In this process, we're resting evaluation, questioning, seeking why. And instead, we're simply opening to the pure awareness of the internal realm of the body itself. Now see if you can sense the body as a whole, an awareness of all this internal activity, movement, temperature, pulsing. Broaden your awareness to include all of it in this moment in your awareness. Relax there. Relax into this internal realm of awareness. Next, we bring the attention to the lower belly. This is the area that's about 3 inches beneath the belly button, so it's very low. In Asian traditions, they call it the dantian. This is the lower area of the abdomen that's in the center line of the body. You may feel that it's more of a concept or an idea, but one way we can connect to this lower belly is by sensing that we're breathing in and out from this lower belly. You may sense a small movement there, more subtle than what we would call the outer breath. There could be a sense of pressure, a sensation of movement, or even freshness. As you breathe out, draw that lower belly into your spine. As you breathe in, let it relax. And then just let the breath find its own rhythm, bringing pure awareness to the sensation of breathing in the internal realm of the lower belly. Rest there. When the mind drifts away, in that moment of noticing, we're back in the body. inhabiting the interior realm with a relaxed, open awareness. This may include the lower belly breathing, along with just sensing the interior body. We are exploring the relaxed awareness of internal sensation of body and breath. Notice that there's a sense of a rising spine. This is a good thing to do halfway through a meditation. Our posture can drop. So just imagine the back itself lifting ever so slightly, an awareness of this rising, softly rising spine, all the way up to the top of the head. There's spaciousness there in the internal body. Explore opening to spacious, vibrant awareness. As we move towards the end of the practice, extend your awareness to the outer sensation of the body, feeling the chair beneath you, an awareness of the feet, the hands, and as you end the practice, take your time. It can be helpful to draw a deeper breath in and take a nice stretch as we end the meditation.
Thank you so much, Rebecca.
You're welcome.
What a unique and lovely practice.
when I first started doing this particular practice, I felt a little high afterwards, because when you drop that far into that stillness and that movement and that awareness, and then you kind of come back to the outer world and try to stand up, it's like, oh, right, now I have to orient myself with the outer experience again. But
Mm,
the practice itself, this particular one is taught by Reginald Ray, Ray. And the name of the book that introduces this is called Pure Awareness. There's a subtitle too, but I've forgotten. But if you look up Reginald Ray, Pure Awareness, you'll find the book. There's also free meditations available at the back of the book that are wonderful instructed practices. But I think the thing that strikes me the most about this practice is really, how is it possible to relax in open awareness when you're resting in the body and be awake? That so often when we go into that state, we might get sleepy, but this is more vibrant sort of quality of attending. And the natural tendency, I think, for everyone's mind is to start asking why. Why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel this particular sensation? What is it that's there? I had a woman, I'm a mental health professional and counselor, and I had a client who was really disturbed by the sense of her beating heart. And of course, it's there all the time, but she didn't have a sense of the strength of the pulse and how it was in her body. And it took her some time to actually get quiet enough and be able to be with that sensation. And then really allowed her to open to that during the day or during times when she was really feeling stressed. So this is the second piece of the practice, that when you do this kind of meditation regularly, you have access to it throughout the day, because it's a felt sense. It's not thinking about anything. It's just a felt sense of, boom, I'm back home in my body in this moment. And I've been practicing it when I feel a little pulled out, a little agitated, a little impatient or whatever. And then I just sort of settle back into the awareness and wait. That way I'm less likely to do or say something that I really wished I hadn't, because I've lost connection with myself in that moment. So they call this, informal practice. So formal practice, doing the practice itself in meditative moments of 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes a day. And then there's this informal practice of dropping in throughout the day, just to get a little more connection between the two, right? Yeah.
so, so valuable. Thank you. And when you mentioned about the, connecting with the internal body and then opening up, when you mention open awareness, just for folks, that really, that's a whole practice in itself, what Rebecca's mentioned, where you can, many times in meditation, we'll tend to focus on particular things, but open awareness really is opening up your awareness to everything or many things at once.
Whatever's arising. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I tend to recommend that when I work with clients recommend that for people that have, done meditation a few times, but it really is quite interesting. And the way that you took us through that during the meditation was just so well done. So just a big thank you, Rebecca, for
Mhm.
how much you're steeped in this practice, and it's so wonderful
Well,
to have you on to share your experiences.
you're welcome. Well, I think about how, our awareness is like a lens of a camera. So we have this broader view of just attending to the outer world. And then we can sense by narrowing in the camera lens to the sensation of the skin and the clothing on the body and what it's feeling like to sit in a chair. So that's a little bit closer in. And then a little bit closer in focus, attending to, oh, all right, there's breath in there, and there's a sense of the pulsing and the flow in the body, and then dropping even more deeply by opening up to whatever is arising. And that lower belly breathing is an interesting thing, because I think oftentimes many meditation traditions consider noticing the breath coming in and out the nose and maybe at the chest, but this is like going way, way down, right? 3 inches beneath the belly button. That's way down there, right? So that it's a different form of breathing. It's more subtle. There's a lot less movement when you're really dropping the attention down in there as well. So this is, you can just think of it when you sit to meditate, it's broad view, then just outside of the body, then dropping into the awareness of the internal, and then even deeper into whatever's arising with openness. Yeah.
Yeah, really, really great practice. So
Yeah.
we just have a few more minutes. Let's open it up for anyone that has questions about it, because you know, we have the master here. We might as well pick her brain. So if anybody thinks of anything that they'd like to ask about, or it's a nice time, we've many times just offered this time as a way to share any resources or to build on anything that's been said in the practice. So if anybody thinks of anything there, and just to reiterate what Rebecca said about the lower belly, and when we focus on that and we expand that even more, that is engaging the parasympathetic nervous system. And
Yes.
in doing that, that can, you know, that system helps us to recover from stress.
Yeah.
So when we do that in meditation, it really helps to calm us. And like Rebecca showed us, just brings us down a whole other level of calm and rest.
If we were able to take all of your blood pressure before we did the meditation and after, I think you would see a marked difference. And this is the reality of the body itself. When we learn to pay attention in that pure way, the body responds by gifting us with self-regulation and a sense of ease, and the body aligns more with that quieter, more healthy way of moving through the world. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so nice to have access to some of these different ways to calm our bodies, whether we do it within meditation or we do it in the grocery line or in the car when we're driving and we get agitated. I mean, how useful is that?
Exactly.
So I'm going to share the book that Rebecca mentioned as well. You mentioned Power of Pure Awareness. I might not have that.
I think that's about right. It's somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Reggie's written a lot of books, but if you Google that one, I'm sure you'll find it easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
thank
I
you
wish
again.
you're welcome, and I wish you all well there out there listening. And so good to be with you. And may you have a mindful day.
Yeah, one breath at a time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. And we'll see you tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, for our Zoom meeting format. So look forward to seeing you in the morning. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.